Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are looking at a match between Rybakina and Paolini. Um, I think, yeah, the tournament in Canada has started recently. There's been a lot of good matches, and Yala's recently won. She won in Washington, which is really good. She's been doing really well. I could definitely see her winning a Grand Slam sometime soon, especially with how she's been playing. She's super tough, and she's a fighter. She knows, even if she's down 5-0, 40 love in the second set, um, she's someone who knows how to, fight back from that. So it's been really good, really nice seeing, the some of the younger players really doing well. And then this week you have the win between Leylah Fernandez and Andreva, which I wasn't expecting, but um, Leylah played really well in that match, and if you haven't watched it, you should go and watch it because Leylah Fernandez played really well, even after Andreva had started coming back. The quality is kind of not the best, but we will work with it. I think some of the biggest components you can take from Rybakina's game is her serve. Other than, I would say, Osaka and um, Sabalenka, I think Rybakina has not only one of the most consistent, but also one of the strongest serves on tour. So if you need, if you want to base your serve off of somebody, I definitely think Rybakina is, especially for the girls, she's definitely one of the better players to, um, base your serve off of. And I think her whole game in general is just um, very good. I feel like she's a very well-rounded player. She's aggressive, um, but her defense is good, and I think the fact that she's tall plays a really big part in how well she does. Same with Sabalenka; they're both um, pretty tall. So she's definitely, you can see that um, she puts a lot of pressure, especially off the return. You can see how close she is to the baseline, and she's always stepping in. Um, and you can see that most of her returns go either across court or inside out or in the center, which is definitely your safest options on the return. Um, it gives you large margin for um, error, like, if you're aiming for a specific spot, there's more area for you to miss your target versus, and also the net is lower. You're hitting through the lower part of the net. So I definitely think, I've mentioned this before in past videos, I definitely think it's important to either return in the middle or um, cross court. And I would also say that um, these players, they're definitely aggressive off the return, but they're not, you shouldn't go for winners off the return. I think you know, it's a hit or miss kind of shot. And if you're off, then there's a good chance you could be missing a lot of them, which is just 3 points for your opponent. And so it's fine to be aggressive, and you can see um, on most of the returns, Rybakina and even Paolini, they're stepping in and they're being aggressive, but because of where they're placing the ball, they're not going for they're being winner aggressive, but they're not placing the ball or thinking in terms of hitting a winner. So that allows them to get their returns deep, which is also very important. I think something that some players struggle with is getting back out after return or after the serve. So if you can, get it to the feet really quick off the return, um, get it deep. I think that's, it's definitely something that will really help, especially considering that usually the server has the advantage. The server starting off playing defense right out of the gate. You can see Rybakina moving Paolini around and taking control of the center of the court. Um, you can see her, yeah, you can see her hanging out in the center quite a bit. And I think something that helps, you know, especially off the return, um, it helps to take control of the center of the court. You're putting your opponent in a defensive position, and obviously, if they're playing smart, they're not gonna try to go for angles or try to hit low percentage shot when they're playing defense. So right off the return, you're taking control over the center of the court, and you're also putting your opponent on defense. So you're on offense, they're on defense. You're constantly stepping into the court and, putting it in the do side and on the ad side, moving them around. You basically have, until they get back on their feet, you basically have free range to do whatever you please with the ball. Um, and obviously, you don't want to go crazy, but being able to take control and be aggressive and step into the ball um, is definitely something that makes it much easier to win points. You can see her stepping in here. I also think it looks like Paolini, her balls, she's getting good net clearance, but um, you can definitely tell that her balls might be landing a little bit short. I don't know obviously I don't know how hard Paolini hits, but um, I think in this case, especially with how aggressive Rybakina is, and you can see her again stepping in there, I think against really aggressive players, your best bet is to keep the ball deep. If you're hitting the ball, and also I think getting the ball high, getting good topspin, deep and high where it's out of the strike zone. If you're hitting the ball short and in the strike zone, they're just going to clean it out on every shot, especially if you're really good at it. Um, and I think that's something that Paolini is doing. Um, it just makes it really hard to play against them because, you know, you're putting the ball right where they want it. So you can see her getting a beat, but it's, you know, Rybakina is still being aggressive. But I feel like with a, you know, a lower level, you know, not a pro, it's definitely, it can be hard to deal with. It can be hard for your opponent to manage if they're being super aggressive. But I feel like whether or not you're playing someone who's super aggressive, getting the ball deep and keeping it out of their strike zone will definitely make it easier for you to get free points and get short balls. Well, I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment down below and let me know what other videos you would like me to go over, and, you know, let me know if you found any of the tips in this video helpful. Please like and subscribe and hit the post notification bell so you know the next time I upload. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.